Howdy, y'all. How are y'all doing today? Good morning. It's morning here. Good morning from Norma Jean. Norma, say good morning. Hey, hey, how's it going? It's about 9 o'clock in the morning here in beautiful southern Arkansas, and it is time once again. I'm going to share my journal, my personal journal for the last week with you guys. This is going to be February the 4th through February the 10th, I believe, is the last week. So let's just jump in here and see what I've been up to the last week. Okay, so starting with Friday the 4th, it was partly cloudy with a high in the mid 70s and a low in the low 40s. I had a pretty productive day today. Got a lot of household chores done, and I took Howard outside for a while. He played in the yard while I laid in the hammock and got a little bit of sun. After lunch, I cleaned the bathroom from top to bottom, including the floors and the rugs. I washed the shower curtain too, so the whole room smells so fresh and clean. It is a pleasant place to linger. Yeah, I've been trying to feel like spring cleaning, when it gets it's a little cloudy today, but when that sun is shining and you can see all your dust and cobwebs, and it makes you want to clean the house. So I've been kind of cleaning this week. I cleaned all the floors today, the hardwood as well as the carpets. I didn't shampoo the carpets, which I am really wanting to do, but I'm waiting until it gets warmer again so I can open the windows and really clean everything. Um, that's a big job, sweeping and vacuuming this whole house. The carpets are really deep pile carpets, and the vacuum cleaner pulls really hard, even on the highest setting. And it's tough. It's a workout. Um, I usually don't do both on the same day. Yeah, I usually either vacuum or sweep and mop the hard floors and do the rugs, one or the other. But I did both. Uh, I wanted to get it all done so I could relax over the weekend. I find it hard to relax in a dirty house. I can't sit there and do an activity or play a game or something if I know there's a few chores that need done. If there's some dirty dishes or there's some laundry kind of stacked up or something, if I notice something that's dirty while I'm trying to relax, it messes up my uh, personal time. uh, so I did a bunch of laundry, including blankets, pillows, rugs, and the house feels super clean and nice. And I usually do try to do that on a Friday. I'll try, if I don't shop, like today, I'm shopping on a Thursday, so tomorrow I'll be able to clean the house real good. Um, I usually do try to clean up real good at the end of the week so that I can relax on the weekend and not do as much, just do the little daily stuff and that's it. I decided to make a drunk chicken. If you don't know what a drunk chicken is, I think I have one in my cooking and food playlist. So you can check that out if you want to make a drunk chicken. They're very good. I made one for supper. I put it on around 4 p.m. with carrots to roast with it. Now, see, when I was at the grocery store, I was shopping, and I noticed there was a huge bag of regular whole carrots. They were the same price as a very small package of baby carrots. So I got the big bag, and I intend to cook them in several ways. I want to make a beef stew with lots of carrots and also some homemade chicken noodle soup as well as another chicken pot pie, both with plenty of fresh carrots. I like them with a butter and brown sugar glaze on them as a side dish as well. Yeah, so I can't say shocked because I mean, really, how dramatically can you feel about carrots? But I was very surprised, taken aback, I might say, at the cost differential in that very small envelope of baby carrots to the huge, I don't know, it's like an 8 pound bag of whole carrots. So I couldn't bring myself to not take advantage of that deal. Okay, so Saturday the 5th, it was a rainy day, high in the low 60s, low in the low 40s. So we had both planned to do stuff outside on this weekend. Slim wanted to do vehicle maintenance on the Jeep and the truck. The truck's running, but not really great. So we've just been sharing the one vehicle, and so he was wanting to work on that, and I think he wanted to do something on the Jeep as well. And I was going to burn some boxes, which I'm behind on. I have a huge pile of boxes in there to burn. The cats love playing in it, though. Burn boxes, pick up sticks, and maybe rake up some leaves while we let the cats outside, except for our Norma Jean, of course. But it rained all day, so we couldn't do any of those things that we had planned. And Norma Jean was happy sitting in the sun in the window there, like Marina is. Um, you can see, let's see, it won't let me zoom in here. But yeah, Norma Jean sits there just like Marina is and looks outside. And she's very happy. And she doesn't like it when it's cold and windy and stuff. So we couldn't do anything outside because it was raining. And instead, we just relaxed inside, did some things around the house, and also spent several hours playing our favorite game, Skyrim. It is so much more fun when you can look up tips online while you're playing. Even if it takes forever to upload the page, Norma Jean, the Wi Fi around here is ridiculous. She knows. She knows. Her public can't see her like she would like them to. uh, the Wi-Fi has been worse than ever. Yes, I'm going to try and not go on about it. I could go on and on and on and on, but I won't. I'll just keep my fingers crossed that soon it won't be an issue. I tell you what, it does make me appreciate it, when I get somewhere that's got really good uh broadband internet signal. Oh, it's like a dream. It's so nice. So if you have it, be grateful. Be grateful you don't have to contort yourself and stand on one foot with your phone up over your head trying to find a signal. Be glad you got good signal. Okay. I made a taco supper with all the trimmings, including fresh guacamole. It takes a while to chop up all the veggies, but I enjoyed it. And Slim hung out with me in the kitchen while I was cooking, which I always enjoy, and it seems to make the food taste better. Oh, Howard got in big trouble. He was digging at the door today. Slim fussed at him and then put him in his crate for an hour or more. But as soon as he got out, he was at it again. So he got a spank and 2 good hours in the crate, after which he was pretty good. We have to replace the weather stripping under the door again. Yes, I don't know if you can see. I've tried to fix it with tape there. But yeah, he was actually chewing on the rubber strip, chewing pieces off of the rubber strip. And he wouldn't quit. I can't ever get him to do anything. Okay, so Sunday the 6th, rainy day. The high was in the low 60s, the low was in the low 50s. It felt like it was the same temperature all day and night. Another rainy day. I don't mind because I'm feeling lazy today. I lingered over coffee and didn't even get dressed until after 10. Then I made us an easy brunch of fried egg sandwiches and decided to go visit my friend Virginia. Had a nice visit with V. She had all the grandkids over and had cooked a big Sunday dinner as usual. Seeing Karaya made me remember that I'd promised to make her some jewelry, which I'm going to do, but I've also been thinking I should invite her over to make her own pieces, and that way she can choose exactly what she likes, and I can teach her how to make jewelry with beads like I do. She is very smart and stylish, so she would probably enjoy creating personal and unique pieces. All I have to do is ask if she's interested. So, yeah, if she's interested in making jewelry, I certainly could bring her out here and let her make whatever she likes. I could show her how to make it. It's not hard. Anybody can do it. Um, Downloaded a game while I was at Virginia's and had a little signal. It's called Water Sort. It's really fun. Slim and I took turns playing. We're both pretty good, and it's an offline game. You don't have to have online to play it, so that's nice. Um, we're both pretty good at it. I uninstalled Lily's Garden because after the first 30 days or so, it got really hard to play the puzzles to progress the storyline, which was, by that point, totally predictable and boring. So now I've found a new little game to kill a few minutes here and there while I'm waiting my turn in line at the bank or the supermarket. I like to have a distraction when I have to wait around other people, but I don't want to chat. Yeah, that's something I got into because of the COVID thing. I got into having a little game on my phone to have something to do while I'm waiting 6 foot away from everybody with a mask on and nobody, we stopped chatting in line like people used to do. So that's something I got into. But, the more that I think about it, I don't really wait in line inside places anymore. I'm in my vehicle waiting in line, like at a drive through window at the bank, or something like that. So, yeah, COVID kind of changed things. But whenever I've got to wait for a long time, I like to have one of those little games uh, that doesn't matter, that I can turn off at a second's notice and get back to the real world and not have to worry about it. Okay, Monday the 7th, mostly cloudy, high in the low 60s, low in the high 30s. Already Monday. Got a case of the Mondays. This weekend just flew by, even though we didn't actually do anything at all. We have a wedding anniversary coming up. And we were discussing what we might want to do to celebrate. 14 years of wedded bliss. That's right. I looked up online what the traditional gift for 14 years is, and it's ivory, so that's out. Modern substitutions include gold, opal, and ivory colored gifts. None of these really appealed to us, and we really enjoyed our weekend at home. So I think we'll probably go out for a nice meal and maybe go to a couple of stores we both like and then spend the rest of the time chilling out at the house, painting and playing games, and maybe I'll bake a cake. Uh, his favorite kind of cake is yellow butter cake with chocolate frosting. So I think I will. I looked up a recipe, and after wedding cake boot camp, I feel like a birthday cake should be a piece of cake. Sorry. Okay. I let all the cats out except Norma, and I walked around with them so that they could get some fresh air. And Norma doesn't really mind staying in when it's cold. She doesn't really like it when it's cold and chilly and breezy. The wind was very chilly, so I didn't stay out long either. Naboo especially needed a good run. Yeah, he needs to stretch out and run from time to time. He's so long he can only really stretch out and run when he is outside. And they all had good exercise and they climbed a tree or two. Even Marina, there she goes. Marina, come here. Come say hi to everybody. And don't be stroppy. Come here. Who's a good girl? Oh, Marina is. Yes, she is. Yes, she is. Who's a good girl? This is attitude on legs right here. That's attitude on legs. Yep, but even she had a good time outside and climbed a tree a little bit and ran and played. Uh okay, so oh, and also everyone came back inside with no problem, which is kind of a big deal, especially with the boys. They don't always want to come back in, but they did really good. I was really proud of everybody. I think Marina and Howard both walked in on their own when I just held the door open for them. And that's what I'm going for, but it's hard to achieve it with them two young boys. They just love it outside, and everywhere they look, there's another bird or a squirrel or so. They can hardly help it. They just their attention is not on coming back inside. Okay, so I bought some buttermilk, and this was like a week or two ago. I don't know, like a week or two ago. I bought buttermilk to make some biscuits and to try Belinda's fried chicken recipe. Okay, because I cannot remember how to make biscuits. I've got a recipe, and I'm going to have to try it several times until I get it right. There's a bunch of little tips and tricks, and anyway, and also, I wanted to make her fried chicken looked really good. I wanted to try that, and both of those call for buttermilk. So I bought a small container of buttermilk, and I have procrastinated so long that the buttermilk is now expired and I have to throw it out. Yep, I cracked the seal on that buttermilk and poured it down the drain because it was like 5 days past expiration when I opened it. So, I've got to work on this. I am terrible about putting things off until later, and then later is too late. I've done that um I don't know, a few times. I've been doing that lately. Like, oh, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to break all that stuff out and do that today. I'm not going to get all involved in that and do that, and I'll put it off. I'll do it tomorrow or the next day, or then I'll be like, I'll just wait until, when I'm out and I'm going to go to town, I'll just do it then. I have been making excuses and procrastinating so much. This one has an appointment at the vet in a couple weeks. She's next in line. Good old Marina. She's looking for Willow. I don't see him out there right now. Yeah, so I am a terrible procrastinator. That's what I've learned about myself recently. I've been putting things off. Um, Tuesday the 8th, it's cold and rainy, high in the low 50s, low in the low 30s. Lots of sleet and freezing rain today. I'm glad the windows are still covered. I've been wanting to take the plastic off and open all the windows on nice days, but I knew this was coming. Anyways, I decided to clean out my pantry today. I was going to do the fridge too, but I think I'll wait till tomorrow because the next day is trash day and I can take all that stuff up to the box and get it out of the house so I don't have to smell it. Yuck. I hate the smell of leftovers and spoiled food. So, every time I clean out the fridge, I immediately want to get that trash out of the house. Um, So the pantry's all organized and I have most everything I need to start baking. I just need rapid rise yeast and shortening and I'm ready. I looked up lots of recipes and I wrote them down and I made a shopping list. Yes, I did. So this is the book I was using to write down recipes because who knows when I'll be able to go online and look at the recipe. I better have it down in a hard copy so that I can get it whenever I want it, regardless of what my signal is here. So these are some of the recipes that I got: hot water cornbread, a good pie crust recipe using the food processor, yellow cake with the chocolate frosting, and this is my husband's favorite cake, so I'm going to try and make that from scratch with the chocolate frosting, and chocolate chip cookies, bread. This is the recipe I used to make the bread that at first failed and then succeeded. Brownies, which is another one of my husband's favorites. He likes brownies, so I want to learn how to make those from scratch really well. I always use a box mix for most of that kind of baked goods. I've always been a really proficient cook. I've always been able to cook, but I've never been able to bake like breads and stuff. So I always just resort to just the packages of biscuit mix or Jiffy mix or a Duncan Hines box mix or something like that. That's what I always do for baked goods. So I'm trying to teach myself how to make these things that I don't even know what's in them. So here's the biscuits. Then I let the buttermilk go bad, but I discovered a recipe for a substitution for buttermilk. Okay. So what you do is you take your cup, let's just pretend this is my liquid measuring cup, and into this cup you put a tablespoon of either white vinegar or lemon juice. You put a tablespoon in there. And then you fill it up to the cup line with regular whole milk. So it's going to be a scant cup of whole milk and a tablespoon of either vinegar or lemon juice, and then you stir it and let it sit for 5 minutes, and you've got soured milk, which works in all these recipes just as good as buttermilk. So it will do the same thing as far as like leavening and rising and stuff as the chemicals. Baking is apparently chemistry. Huh. Is it chemistry? Are we learning kitchen chemistry, Marina? Yeah. She thinks it's pretty fun. Yeah. So we're trying. Biscuits. Oh yeah, pizza dough. Gonna try and learn how to do that. I think some of my issues with learning to bake is a lot of these recipes are calling for a rapid rise instant yeast. And I am used to traditional yeast. When I ever did any baking from scratch, it was professionally on a really large scale. The yeast came in bricks, like coffee used to in the little vacuum sealed brick, and we would open it and measure out however many tablespoons that we needed for a huge amount of dinner rolls or whatever we were making for the restaurant. So that experience didn't give me much practice with these little packets of rapid rise instant yeast, which you don't proof in the same way that you proof traditional baker's yeast. So I'm having to learn. This is a more modern product that I never have used. I guess it's a more modern product. They probably have had it all my life. I've just never been exposed to rapid rise instant yeast. I always use the traditional active dry yeast that you had to proof in warm water, and then you feed it sugar and stuff and get it going. And then so I'm having to relearn how to make bread in small batches, but I'm working on it. Oh, and I found a really nice recipe for cinnamon rolls. It's 2 pages long. It's all detailed, lots of stuff. This isn't an easy one. It comes in 3 parts. There's the yeast bread that has to be made, then punched down, then formed, then risen again. There's the filling. There's also the cream cheese topping or frosting. So this is something that's a little bit more advanced. Oh, and while I was looking around, we were talking about what we want to do for our anniversary. And whenever we go to Red Lobster, we really like their lobster fondue. So I looked online and I found a copycat recipe of lobster fondue. And we get it with some chips, and it's really good. It's one of our favorite appetizers. They used to have something similar at Ruby Tuesdays, but Ruby Tuesdays closed down. Anyway, so I thought if I could find the ingredients, I might make this for us, like for our anniversary or something, and see if it's as good as the kind at the restaurant. Usually I can make stuff pretty close, but here's the thing. I have never seen, this is a Campbell's soup product. I have never seen cream of shrimp soup. So if I can find Campbell's cream of shrimp soup, 10.5 ounce can, I will probably try to make this lobster fondue because you can get a lobster tail frozen, no problem. And very simple directions, super simple. Like most really good recipes, once you figure out how to do it, it's good. It's not hard. So his favorite cake being yellow butter with chocolate frosting. My favorite cake, which I haven't had in so long, I can't even remember the last time I had it. But it's always been devil's food with cream cheese frosting. That's my very favorite cake. So I looked up a recipe of how to do it with the boiling milk and all of that. And also the traditional cream cheese frosting that goes with the devil's food cake. So yeah, that's all the ones that I looked up through there. And I could make everything except all I needed was the yeast, the shortening, and I think maybe some powdered sugar for one of those desserts. Yeah, the frosting and the brownies or something needed. Look at my little list. Look at these little guys. Oh, Fun got me this little list. Look, oh, they're so sweet. So cute. So on here, I've got all the stuff I need to make the recipes that I found online of the baked goods. I'm going to try and teach myself. And also, I've got things like a bread knife, cooking thermometer, baking pan, cooling rack, that kind of stuff, because I don't have baking equipment. I'm not a baker, so I don't have baking equipment, and I need a few things. But I was making do pretty good, and the bread turned out pretty good. Oh, Slim came home early because of the weather. Yeah, it was sleeting and freezing rain. I was glad he got to come home. It was well after lunch, but still, it was a nice surprise. We had coffee. We played Skyrim for a while. Yeah, we made a new character on that game. That game has excellent replay value. So yeah, we were into playing that for the last few days. And I made a nice supper of liver and onions with creamed potatoes and brown gravy. That's one of my all-time favorite meals. Yeah, my grandmother used to make that. She did it differently. She made it differently. But even as a little child, I loved liver and onions. with mashed potatoes and gravy. That's my favorite meal from the time I can remember being asked, "What's your favorite meal?" That was it. And it wasn't until I was like in grade school or whatever that I realized that other people were like, "Ew, gross, liver and onions, yuck." That almost nobody liked it, much less was it their favorite meal. So anyway, so I made that. And then we discussed what we wanted to do for his birthday this weekend and our anniversary on the 24th. And we decided to go out for his birthday and stay home for our anniversary. And we may plant a tree. We planted the willow in the front yard on our 10th anniversary, and it's taller than the house now. It was just a twig that fit in the back of the Jeep when we brought it home. And I'm pretty sure we got it at Tractor Supply in DeQueen. Yeah. So we could definitely choose another tree and plant, which I think is a really good thing to do on an anniversary or a birthday because it kind of just marks time in a neat way. That tree that we planted in the front yard was just a twig, and now it is huge, very, very big tree. Well, it's not huge, but compared to what it was, it has really grown. Okay, Wednesday the 9th, cold and cloudy, high in the high 50s, low in the low 30s. Okay, so this morning, playing with and loving on the cats, I got like 3 scratches on my arms. Yes, and let's see. There's right there. It looks like a vampire bite. They scratched me up. Just regular interaction. I got all kind of scratches on me, which means everybody's getting their nails trimmed today. And since I'm doing that, I'll give them all a good brushing, except Norma Jean. Um, I mean, not except, especially Norma Jean. And so that means dusting and vacuuming because, oh my God, at the fur. So I have the first half of my day cut out for me. So I did that. I cut everybody's fingernails and they were so, so good. I couldn't believe it. And I brushed Norma Jean, although not as well as she really needed. I just give her kind of a little go. I went over her a couple times with the brush, but she really needs a proper grooming still. Well, that was easy. All the cats cooperated. It didn't take long to get them all trimmed up and groomed and then tidy up. I decided to get my chores out of the way and try to make homemade bread. Yeah, so after I groomed the cats, got all their nails cut, and got the dusting and vacuuming done, I washed up and decided to make bread. And I spent all afternoon in the kitchen trying to make some bread. My first try was a miserable failure, and instead of a tall golden loaf, I got a flat beige brick. I was disappointed, but I decided to try again. I was back and forth about it for a while. I was like, oh, should I bother? Should I even bother to try again? But I wanted to do it right. So I decided to try again. I knew the yeast didn't proof properly, and I figured if my water was warmer, it would work. I need a thermometer for the kitchen. Well, I was much less careful, and I quickly mixed everything up and kneaded it with a vengeance and set it to rise. I knew this time I nailed it by the feel of the warm dough. It'd been a long time since I made bread, but I knew when it was right. Eventually, I ended up with 2 beautiful loaves of light golden brown bread. It was so worth the effort. I'm going to keep practicing until I get really good at making bread and I don't need a recipe. I'll give most of the bread away. Yeah, so let's go over here and look at this bread. This is the bread that I made. I gave the more rectangular loaf away. Let's see if I can open this one-handed. And we kept this more traditional shaped loaf. I couldn't cut it into the right size pieces. They're huge pieces because I don't have a bread knife. And if you've ever messed with bread, you know that you need a bread knife. So the crumb is okay. There are a few air pockets, which I personally would rather have air pockets than to have it too dense. So it's moist. The outside the crust is not too hard because I immediately brushed it with a really ton load of butter. is what kept the crust nice and soft. But yeah, it worked out well. And we had a piece. These are giant pieces. Um, that's one reason I really have to get a bread knife. If I cut them any thinner, I'd smash the bread. Um, so we had to split the piece. Anyway, when I get a bread knife, they'll be at least half this size. But the taste was very good. I was very pleased with the bread and how it turned out. Okay, we're almost done here. I was real happy with that bread. I think I can do even better too. Moving on to today. This is Thursday, the 10th. It's partly cloudy, high in the mid 60s, low in the high 30s. I woke up feeling good today. Took Slim to TJ's after breakfast and I brought a loaf of bread with me. I asked him if he would be interested in regularly receiving baked goods from me as I am teaching myself to bake. He said yes. And as he has just recently took a boarder in, there will be someone else there to help him eat all the stuff I bring. Of course, Slim and I will eat some of it. I have to taste it at least. But it takes practice to become good at anything, and if I don't give it away, it will go stale and get chunked in the trash, which is a waste, or worse, I will eat it and gain 100 pounds before I'm through. So I'm glad I have someone to share with. I'll also probably give it away to Virginia and, just anybody who wants some, but I needed to make sure I had someone that we regularly went to their house. And, Slim goes there every work day. Um, so he can take him bread almost every day if I decide to bake. And, that's with just me and my husband here, we don't need to eat that much bread, and fresh bread goes stale quickly. So if I'm going to practice, I need somebody to eat all this bread. Today is for shopping. Slim's birthday is right around the corner, and I've got a couple of things in mind that I want to get him. Very practical things. Last year, I got him a big old pile of presents, and although he enjoyed them, um, he's a really practical person. I'm just going to get him a few items that I know that he needs, and then I think we're going to order him something online that he needs for his job. It will make his job easier. Anyway, a bunch of knives, a butchering kit, and the stone and the steel to keep them sharp and in shape and all that. So I think that's going to be his main birthday present. Anyway, I've also decided to make his favorite cake, yellow butter with chocolate frosting. After the wedding cake, this should be easy. And I found an excellent from scratch recipe for the cake and the frosting. We can both have a piece and I'll give the rest away. We don't need a whole cake. That's true. And all of these baked goods, we can have a serving or two, and I need to give the rest of it away. Got to stop by the post office and check my post office box. It's been a while since I went up there. And also, there's me procrastinating again, not going to the post office. I have a couple of pieces of Happy Meal. Yes, there's a couple pieces of Happy Meal I've got ready to go. And I need to mail. Um, and I'm out of stamps. Yeah, I just realized I have one stamp left. So a trip to the post office is a must. Yet another thing I've been putting off. I'm becoming a terrible procrastinator. It's true, you guys. It is true. I am a procrastinator. And recently I have just really noticed it. I've noticed it all over the place, everything. Um, so I don't know. I don't know why I set myself these goals like learning to bake bread and stuff like that and then procrastinate about it. It's weird. But anyway, I think I'll go over here and take us out with a shot of beautiful Norma Jean sitting in the sunshine. Hey Norma, you tell everybody to be sweet. Say y'all be sweet. Bye y'all.